do you grow a big list of raving fans and paying clients? The biggest influencers keep the biggest secrets, but we're about to spill the beans, baby. The best way to brand your expertise, build your clientele, have customers chase you, and become the go-to authority in your niche is by using one super simple tactic. It's called a lead magnet. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful strategies in marketing today. It's a can't miss episode coming at y'all right now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Kingdom Builders Academy podcast. So good to be with you guys today and so excited to dive into this topic of lead magnets. It's a little thing that can make a big impact. So Coach Tam, bring us in on some lead magnet secrets.
Well, first, I feel that we ought to talk about what a lead magnet is for people who don't know, who are listening and they don't know. So Zack, why don't you explain what a lead magnet is?
Yeah, so a lead magnet, it is kind of what it sounds like. It's a magnet to get leads. So we want to attract leads, which really means building our list, usually our email list. So one of the best ways to build your email list is to give a free gift. So your lead magnet is a free gift that people will give you their name and their email address in order to get the free gift.
Right. So what are some good free gifts that we could give away? What do you think, Bunny?
Well, I'm sticking to the script and we're going to just provide them with some information in a 3 to 5 page PDF. So here's the thing. And it's true. And as you go and you grow, okay. And what's interesting about this is I was going on a few different websites, seeing all of these, $100 million plus businesses, they all have lead magnets.
Yes, they do.
You just don't realize it. Lead magnets are popping up all the time. Every time you're on someone's website, you even can get lead magnets while you're on Instagram. You're scrolling, and all of a sudden, a lead magnet pops up. But just so you know, lead magnets are everywhere, and they come in all shapes and sizes, and they look differently, but they work really well. Have you ever been watching something, seen something, been scrolling, then you're like, oh, that's it. I want to know more about that. And they'll say, all you have to do is you want to get this little tool, you want to get this little bit of information. We can tell you in 3 minutes how X, Y, and Z, and you click and you don't care. Do you know how many times I have put my email in for something? Like so many times. And then they're just busy sweeping me off my feet for the next 2 years. That is what they do. And that is what we should do. That's how it works, right? Because people sometimes don't know what they don't know and they don't know what they want until you show them it, until you teach them, until you woo them. It's a relationship of wooing. We're wooing them.
Excellent. Very good, Bunny. So you're scrolling along, you're on Facebook, you see something that says how to stop your children from interrupting, 10 special secrets. And you think, oh gosh, my kids are interrupting me all the time. I'm going to put my name in. I'm going to put my email address in. You just subscribed to a lead magnet. And now once you've done that, you're on their mailing list. They have the ability to communicate with you. So my point, and I do have one, is that if you want to grow a big following, you are going to need a lead magnet. So you can use something like a white sheet, a special report. You can use an ebook. You can use a video. You can use a little mini online course, lots of things that you can use. They're very easy usually to produce. You can do it in a day. And the next day you can get a cover made for it, a little mock-up. And now you have a way of getting the names and email addresses of hand raisers, of people who say, hey, I'm interested in the thing that you're an expert on. And this is the way that everybody grows their list. It's a way that you expand your influence, that you now have a new, fresh audience of faces that you can talk to about the thing that you're really good at, okay? So let's talk about some lead magnet secrets.
Well, before we get into getting into the actual lead magnet, I just want to piggyback on the importance of a lead magnet. Like right now, anybody who's listening, who's an author, speaker, coach, influencer, if you post on social media, if you have a website and you don't have a lead magnet, you need to create one today, like right now. So listen to the rest of this episode and figure out what to do. But you've got to have a lead magnet for two reasons. One is building an email list is one of the greatest assets of any business, in any industry. That contact list is one of the biggest assets. We were just talking to some friends of ours who might be selling their company, and the number one asset that they have that we would want to maybe consider buying it is their email list, is just all the contacts that they've built. So if you've got listeners on a podcast, if you've got followers on social media, if you've got, people that you coach and mentor and referrals and networking, you've got to start building your email list, because it is like one of the top assets of every business. Every email that you add to your list, they say is worth about $50.
Yep.
Every time you add an email to your list, it's worth about $50, because the way it works is that as you monetize your list by doing events, making offers, selling products, every lead should be worth about $1 a month. So that means every lead is worth about $12 a year. And over the course of 4 or 5 years, that kind of average lifetime value on your list, that's like $50. So it's just super valuable to build a list. And then number two, your lead magnet is kind of the first step in your sales funnel. I was just at an event and was talking to somebody who has like the most amazing program that I've ever seen in the health space, from testing to technology to coaching, like it's just an incredible program, an incredible product. But the problem is that they didn't have a real sales funnel, a real like kind of irresistible step-by-step sales funnel. They were kind of just presenting the whole thing, and the whole thing is really a big ask, and it's like kind of complicated, and it's a lot to digest and to commit to, to commit to coaching and testing and technology and changing my health and my habits and my lifestyle. That's a lot to commit to. So when you've got something that's like incredibly valuable, but is maybe a lot for people to commit to, you can't offer them the next step of committing to everything. You've got to give them little bite-sized commitments. You've got to give them like little easy layup things to say yes to. And your lead magnet is that first step. It's the first like, okay, well, I can take 5 seconds. I can put my email in and I can get this, bite-sized first step, right? And then from there, we're going to have another bite-sized step. And then from there, we're going to have another bite-sized step. So this is like the first little layup of a call to action that you can make. And if you're skipping this step, one, you're missing out on building one of your biggest assets, which is your email list. And two is you're probably getting out of sequence with your sales funnel. And maybe Coach Tam, you'll talk about kind of attract, befriend, convert, but this is kind of like that first step in like a ABC sales process of just attracting people and making it easy to build a relationship and build a connection and begin to befriend that person.
Yeah, absolutely. And the great thing too about a lead magnet is that you can begin to handle objections in your lead magnet. So objections to your product or service that you're ultimately going to be sharing with them in your lead magnet, you can begin to handle those objections, and you can begin to build anticipation and excitement. You're building your credibility at the same time. Now you're a respected authority. They have downloaded your information and they're taking it to heart. They're listening to what you have to say. So the great thing about a lead magnet too is that you can use it online or offline. You can use it in everyday conversation. You can use it before an audience. You can use it in so many different ways. It's the easiest way to move people onto your list. And it's a free gift. Everybody loves a free gift. So I want to give you a couple of examples of lead magnets that we've used. And I'm going to say lead with a lead magnet. Okay. I did a speaking engagement some years ago at a very big church, and they asked me to speak about mass evangelism, which is actually one of my favorite topics. And so I did a teaching about evangelism, about how to work your faith into everyday conversations and how to bring people to Christ and how to do it from the stage. And so one of the things that I covered in there was objections to Christianity. And there are only about 20 objections to Christianity. And once you know how to handle those objections, then you're handling 99.9% of all of the objections that you'll ever face when you witness to somebody. So when I spoke on stage, I covered 5 of the top objections. These are 5 of the top objections, and this is how you handle them. And then I said to the audience, now I actually have a special report that has all 20 of the top 20 objections to Christianity. And if you'd like to get it, go here, put your information in, and I'll send it to you. Do you know everybody? I mean, I added thousands of people that day to my list because everybody wanted that, right? So that's an example of how you can use a lead magnet from the stage. Now, I'm also going to say launch with a lead magnet. So anytime you produce a new product or service, you can launch with a lead magnet. It's a great idea to do this for a number of strategic reasons, but I'll just say that I've launched a lot of products, a lot of different things over my lifetime, and I always try to launch with a lead magnet. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Is that for a dozen years I was a coach, and I was in the coaching space, and I taught speakers and authors and influencers how to make money with their gift. We still do that. But now we have a double degree program where as you're building your business or as you're building your ministry, we give you one-on-one coaching. We teach you all the things, but you also earn 2 degrees. You earn a Bachelor of Ministry degree and a Master in Business and Ministry degree. So when we launched this program, when we launched the double degree program, I said, let me write a new book because I want to produce a really valuable asset for people that will excite them about the double degree program and give them more information about it. And so I wrote a book called Business Plus Ministry Equals Success. By the time this podcast hits the air, you guys will be able to download a free copy of it. And so that's our new lead magnet that we're using. Okay, here's one good reason that if you've already got a list and you're launching something new, you want to produce a new lead magnet. So at one point in my coaching practice, I had a woman who was really excellent as a singles coach. And so I helped her produce a program, and we made a mistake though. We launched this program out to the list and said, hey, if you're single and you want to come and get this webinar or whatever it was that we were offering, well, we had hundreds of people unsubscribe that day from our list because we were moving away from our core messaging on helping Christian business and ministry leaders expand their brand, right? So a lot of people said, oh, what's this? I don't want to be on this list anymore. And they unsubscribed. Now, if I had led with a lead, that wouldn't have happened. I could have said, I have an awesome student who has produced an awesome program. Those of you who are single, download this lead magnet. Now I would have had hand raisers, and instead of marketing to everybody, I could have just marketed to the people who are single and interested in this product instead of marketing to the whole list and losing a couple hundred subscribers. Does that make sense? You see how powerful it is to use a lead magnet to increase your credibility, to build your list, to get the hand raisers, to handle objections, to shadow box those objections. It's just such a powerful tool. Every speaker, every author, every minister, every coach, every influencer ought to have a lead magnet, and you ought to have several of them for whatever you're doing.
Amen. Totally agree. Honey, we were talking about something that can kind of ruin this whole thing, right? Like you could have a great lead magnet, great title, great message, great ideas, but when somebody kind of downloads the lead magnet and opens it up, what can make everything go wrong?
I was a victim of this. I wanted to learn more about something recently, and I saw a lead magnet for it, and it was a spiritual topic, and I was really, really, really excited. And I put in my information, and I was sent the lead magnet for it, right? I received the gift itself, and it was just all too much. It was too much. It was too much. It was too technical. It was stuff I didn't even know what I wasn't a part of that culture yet, so I didn't even know what those terms meant. It was overwhelming. It was way too long. It was like, I don't know, like 15 pages. And I got into it and then I just stopped reading it, and I will not be connecting with that community because I was like, this is way too much. You are inundating me. You're overwhelming me. I just wish you would have made it easier for me. Like, clearly you said, if you would like to learn more about what this is, should it indicate to you, lead magnet producer, but I'm clicking it because I want to know more, meaning I don't have prior knowledge. So I just got super overwhelmed and that really bummed me out. And then you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. I found somebody else who was teaching that. And do you know, it was so much simpler. And what was interesting is the person who made this lead magnet said, I'm guessing you're here because you got overwhelmed by other people trying to teach you about this process. And I was like, how did you know you're in my inbox? And they were right. This person was right. So just know that no matter what it is, whether it's health or relationships or burnout or business or finance or whatever, be careful that you do not flood the brains of the people that you are trying to woo. It's kind of like when you first start to like someone and have interest in them, you do not sit down on the first date and go, so I was just thinking we could move in together and then we could, and it's just kind of like, whoa, or start talking about marriage and how many kids you want to have and all these different things. Sometimes that's just pouring it on a bit heavy. It's a bit overwhelming. This is a relationship. So I would say just don't give them more than they can handle and don't make them feel dumb. If you've got technical terms and processes and methodologies, keep it simple, because I got really overwhelmed, not just the length of the lead magnet. I didn't even have the knowledge to understand what they were saying. And I went and found someone else who made it really simple. And do you know, now that I've been in it, they have sent me, I've gotten books and materials that are more advanced, but at least I understand what they're talking about now and I don't feel very overwhelmed. So that's my real life story of how a lead magnet went wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so true. And I think there's a couple reasons that can happen. And one of the reasons that I see is actually insecurity. The insecurity from the author, that they're concerned that, they don't have enough value, that they don't have enough to give. So we do this with our programs too. And this is just, to kind of help rein you in maybe, is you don't want to overwhelm people with content. You don't want to overwhelm people with your knowledge. You don't want to overwhelm people with your ideas. So it can come from a place of insecurity. And I would just, challenge everybody to, check that in yourself, that hey, I've got value. I can actually make it simpler. And then the other is even a lack of clarity, because one of my favorite quotes is an Einstein quote that's everything should be made as simple as possible and no simpler. And if you really understand something and if you really have clarity and mastery of something, you can make it very simple. You can make it very fifth grade level. So I think the urge that I think everybody wrestles with at some point with either their lead magnets, their books, their speeches, their programs, is simpler is better. Less is more. If you really understand it, you can make it easier, not more complicated. So just that, making it small, making it clean, making it crisp, is going to go a long way. And I was just kind of making a checklist on lead magnet things. So I've got 5 C's that I want to give really quick. And then Coach Tam, I'll give you the last word to close us out here on this topic. But 5 things that you want your lead magnet to do. And we've already hit on some of these, so I'll go through these quickly. But the first we haven't touched on is your cover. The cover of a lead magnet, first of all, it needs to have a cover. And regarding the cover, it needs to look like a best-selling book. If you were to print out your lead magnet cover and take it to Barnes & Noble, it should look like it belongs on the bookshelf of the best-selling books section. So your cover, you need to get it professionally designed for, it doesn't need to be crazy, $45, $50, but get a professional design on your lead magnet cover that looks like a book cover, a best-selling book cover. The second thing is, on the cover, you've got to have a clear title, okay? So that's the second C, is a clear title with an embedded promise. So when somebody reads your title, it needs to immediately click of what this is about. I was just masterminding with a friend whose first book was something along the lines of How to Make Money with What You Know, right? Like super clear title. And it's also kind of got an embedded promise that if you read this lead magnet, you're going to learn how to make money with what you know. So it needs to be really clear and kind of offering some kind of value, like making a promise that you're going to get value out of this. So cover looks like a best-selling book, clear title with an embedded promise. Number 3 is we want content that offers real value. Okay. Like we don't want it to be just pure marketing, pure fluff, just stringing people along. And that's where like shorter is better. Like 3 pages is enough for a lead magnet. It doesn't need to be 10, 15, 20 pages. I'd say you'd be a lot better off with 2 or 3 pages than 15, 20 pages. So we want content that offers real value that is going to actually improve somebody's life, even if it's just one little nugget. Like I think that would be great. If you gave people like 3 nuggets and 3 pages, that would be a great lead magnet. 4th is case studies to prove your point. Okay, now this is where we can get into a little bit of more of marketing psychology. Is we want to provide case studies of people who have listened to my advice, got these results. And this advice I'm giving you now, if you listen to it, you can get these results too. So that's the 4th C, is case studies to prove your point. And then the last one is probably the most important one, is a call to action with the next step. If your lead magnet just ends with a thanks for reading, you're doing it wrong. Like there's got to be a call to action with the next step, even if that's just like send me an email. Like send me an email, shoot me a message, click here to book a call, go to this page to, get the next step in the series. There's got to be a call to action to take people deeper, to go to the next level. And if you do all 5 of those things, you're going to have a lead magnet that grows your list, builds your business, helps people, and takes people to the next level of working with you.
Excellent.
So I'll repeat those 5 really quick because I see our live attendees asking in the chat. Cover looks like a best-selling book. Clear title with an embedded promise. Content that offers real value. Case studies to prove your point, and a call to action with the next step.
Yeah, excellent stuff. You actually took my last point, Zack, which was a call to action. I think that every lead magnet you're doing yourself and your readers or your listeners or however you're communicating your information on your lead magnet, you're doing them a disservice if you don't tell them what's next. And I think that one of the primary benefits of a lead magnet is to move people closer to making a decision that is going to benefit their lives, right? All of us as content creators, we're producing stuff that is designed to elevate the person, is designed to take them to a place that they haven't been in the past, to make it easier for them, to make it more cost effective for them, to give them the tools that they need to advance their lives. And so a call to action is a super, super critical, important part of having that lead magnet. And like Zack said, it can be a, hop on a free strategy session with me and I'll help you blueprint a plan of action. And of course, you're going to use that to move them into your high ticket, high value transformational offer. So remember, that lead magnet is drawing people to you, but that's not enough. It's not enough to grow your list. You have to actually bring these people into a deeper experience with you so that you can create transformation in their lives.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, great stuff. Thanks, Coach Tam. Thanks, Coach Jillian. Great ideas. Go create a lead magnet. If you don't have one now, take this stuff and run with it. Go create a lead magnet, offer it to your audience, start building your email list and connecting with people on a deeper level. All right. Love you guys. Bless you. Have a great week. See you next week on the KBA podcast.